If we talk about the Bournemouth area, could you tell us about the Bournemouth nightlife?
It's very varied in terms of. I'd say it's varied in terms of quality. There are some really good ones, and then there's some bad ones that I've heard about,
What's
but I haven't
the
really.
club for you?
Ooh, I think first year was probably the old fire station for me
Okay.
personally.
And second year,
Same answer.
same answer. So the
I'd say
fire
it's.
station's
Say
where.
it's I'd, I'd say it's that's probably where I ended up going the most.
Okay. And in Bournemouth, are there a lot of shops? So are there a lot of different kind of shops, or is it just your basics? Like your
No,
Primarks and Next and JDs.
I mean yes, but it's so spread out, and there's like obviously independent stuff as well. But I never really felt like you're short on choice if you need to go and look for anything.
Okay. And if we talk about restaurants and food shops, again, is it just your standards, or is there like loads of different shops you can get?
Um, there's obviously the standard ones, but then yeah, there's the smaller ones as well. So I
There's a
don't think
good
I really.
variety of shops
Hmm,
in Bournemouth.
yeah, I feel like the shops. I obviously kind of went for more when I was just looking for something that maybe I couldn't find somewhere
Is
else.
it is there anything you think students should know about being in the Bournemouth area in general? Kind of living there?
You think of anything like, in terms of like
Okay.
it just feels pretty normal. So
Bournemouth nightlife. Wow, that place is wild. Cameo was my favorite place, but I always enjoyed downstairs Cameo. I don't know if it's still the same type of music downstairs in Cameo now, but like that was like the best place to be. It's just like I think when I've done this is the crazy thing, yeah. I've been out when I'm sober and like everyone's gone out and stuff like that. And I would say it's very, very like funny to be out when you're sober and everyone else is drunk because like British people just go crazy. Like I don't know what I don't know what they're putting in the alcohol, but we just go a little bit nuts.
And when you said you lived in London, the shops and food shops compared from London to Bournemouth, would you say they're the same, or would you say there's more variety in Bournemouth?
Nah, there's more variety in London. I remember there was times when I was actually bringing back plantain to Bournemouth and Indomie because I couldn't find any.
The nightlife, well, with COVID now, it's a bit it's a bit of a long lost memory, but nightlife is decent. I remember during first year you could go out literally every day. There was a motive for you, and it's one of those things like as you come to uni, it's part of the uni experience. You want to just be socializing, having fun, going out and stuff like that. So the nightlife in Bournemouth is very good. It's very good. It depending on your what you're into, there's a little bit of something for everyone type of thing. There's a bit of EDM there, bit of house music, bit of drum and bass, bit of hip hop. Like there's a place for everyone
What
and every type of group. Pardon?
what's the club to go to?
The club.
The club to go
The
to.
club. Everyone goes cameo. That's just the standard. But lost is a shout on the Monday. Lost on the Monday. Cameo on a Wednesday. That's
Okay.
definitely a motive.
So
And then for specifically students, it's hard to just be like, oh yeah, there's one because it just depends on how you're feeling. But definitely top of the list would just be like off of numbers and experience would be cameo, but lost is a close second.
and if you went back to your first year, what would your
Mhm.
layout for your week be for a student if they were going out every single day? What would your layout be?
Every day.
So we start with Lost
Boy.
Mondays.
Yeah, lost Mondays. Then it was toast. I never went toast, but lost Mondays, toast on the Tuesday. Wednesday's cameo. Thursday you can go lost again, or I think yeah, Thursday was just lost again, and then Friday is lollipop, which is the student union event. So it's Monday to Friday. Saturday you can go cameo again. Sundays is snakebite
There's literally something every day to do something.
every day, every day.
So if we go more into like shops, obviously you said you come from London, where it's
Mm.
busy city centre. What are the shops compared from London, which is obviously busier and it's got more common shops compared to Bournemouth? Has Bournemouth got the same kind of feel, or is it more smaller shops and common shops?
it's definitely smaller. Like the closest thing, you kind of have to jump on a train and go Southampton if you want to get that London feel. But Bournemouth is like, it's got the necessities. Like it's got a Zara there, and H&M, but it's only like one locally. And then the shopping centres, you kind of have to go here. There's H&M, the Zara, a small one. There's a Primark there, and whatever in the town centre, which is like 20 minutes away. That's where you usually go. Or you can go Castle Point, which is like a 40-minute bus drive, 20-minute journey. Then there's a Gap and all this other stuff that you can get into, Top Shop and stuff like that. Or you can go even further out, go to Poole, and then you kind of get that feel of, okay, this is a retail park. So they've got everything from A to Z, like JDs and everything like that.
Okay, and what are the food variety shops like? Are there like, again, the common ones, or is there good kind of options?
To be fair, things have been coming up because now there's like the Five Guys, the Taco Bells, and the TGIs have been developed at BH2. So that's something new that has come. Whereas before that, like this all came in sort of January times from first year. But before that, all the students were always complaining that there's literally nothing. You have to go out so far to get sort of like that fast food stuff that you used to, and the cinema wasn't really refurbished and everything. But now there are those options. There's a Five Guys, there's Taco Bell, there's a Seven Bone, which is a great shout. There's a Yo Sushi. Like there's loads of variety.
What's your
shop?
What's your food shop?
Food shop. Like if I'm going out to have dinner or a day or something like that, just hit up Native. It's a quick £5.
And can you tell us what Native is?
Native is Afro-Caribbean shop. So they've got that hard food for you. So plantain.
So the area, say, is mixed. Say there are some obviously really nice parts, but there's also some not as nice, obviously, like any other place around the UK. I'd say that the nightlife is definitely really, really good. It's one of the best that I've heard of from other kind of students. I think in comparisons, a lot of people say either like Bristol or maybe some ones up north like Nottingham and stuff. But I think Bournemouth's really good at kind of being that kind of on the southern coast, having, you have bars and clubs all up and down in the town centre. It's all kind of on one road as well, which is a great opportunity to get into in Winton, or 20-minute kind of taxi back, which is only about £10-15 on a night back. So it's really good links to kind of walk or drive to.
And compared to where you live to Bournemouth, what are the shops like? Have you just got your basic shops, or is there a lot of variety?
I'd say, in comparison to kind of Maidenhead, I'd say that it's the shops are a lot better in terms of having more kind of bigger
options?
Kind of chains, bigger chains, options, stores. I'd say nightlife is 100% better down in Bournemouth. I think there's quite a few pubs, say, around my area, and I think like one club. Whereas, say, in Bournemouth, you've at least got maybe like 10 clubs. And then the bars and the like and pubs, you'd probably say in the region of 15 or something like that you could quite easily get to. And I'd say that in terms of kind of, just general shopping, I think it's great for you to kind of get to, again, much easier than, say, for me at home. Actually, I do spend longer to get into town than what I do down here.
And what are shops like? Is there a lot of shops again compared to where you're from, or is it more variety, or is it the same?
I say there's more variety in Bournemouth.
With food shops?
Yeah. More variety in Bournemouth, 100%.
And is there anything else you think any students would need to know about living in Bournemouth and staying in Bournemouth, about the area or the university?
I would strongly advise to students to get accommodation with the uni first, like through BU Lettings in town, rather than, say, if you're a second year student or third year student, get into Winton or Charminster. Ideally Winton if you can, or even closer, say, to uni, the better, just because it makes you more motivated to go to uni, which means obviously your lectures, your seminars. Whereas if you're kind of stuck in town in your third or second year, it's making you more likely to go out on a night out and less likely you're going to turn up to lectures.
While at Bournemouth University, did you acquire any jobs?
At Bournemouth, I acquired my placement job when I was in my second year, which was right around kind of my exam time as well. So that was quite stressful to get everything kind of planned first, but then it was kind of an easy ride once I got per temps kind of sealed. I didn't get a part-time job. A couple of my friends got bar work and like cleaning and caring kind of jobs, which there is a lot of, but you have to be in there quick. And I'd say at the moment that we're kind of in now, with COVID still, you'd probably say you want to start applying anywhere now up till the next month to get a kind of well-paid, guaranteed job.
Okay, can you? So, while at Bournemouth University, did you join any societies?
Yes, so a lot of them said, you need to get into kind of society.
Whoa, Bradley. So you were saying about societies?
Yes, so societies, say from my cousins that went to university, and my friends kind of said that it's a good opportunity to meet newer people that you wouldn't normally have met, saying like anywhere from cocktails and mocktails society, had like football society, you've got all manner of different sports, educational ones as well, whether it's like the business society or something like that as well. And it's a great kind of opportunity to put on your CV, express that you're kind of a committed member of one of these societies, but also have a good time whilst on obviously at university in those first 3 years as such. So
your society.
Yeah, so I joined in my first year. I joined, I think, a cocktail or mocktail society. I think I joined the basketball society, and I was going to do football, and then just started playing it generally with friends instead. And I joined the business society as well. So I had 3 under my ones that I wanted to kind of meet people with.
And what did you think of them, and what did you do?
So with that, in that first year, I didn't really do a huge amount. I was talking to a few people kind of online, and I knew from what I was first taking it, I was quite sheepish in meeting new people. So I kind of thought to myself, if I can kind of meet some people, that would be nice, but the confidence wasn't really, really there at that point. It wasn't until kind of this year coming now where I kind of had put those kind of on my CV. And now it's kind of a real where I'm actually being a committee member, being as a treasury executive at the business society. So that's where now as joining the society, you kind of do different events, you meet new people, whether it's say if it was the cocktail or mocktail society, you might go out and or try new kind of different cocktails under that kind of breath. And it's literally just that. It's a lot of the time it isn't anything more than say what it kind of says on the tin. Football is football with if you're joining the team. But it's doing something that's out of kind of what you normally would be doing. So it's a good experience to kind of add on your CV.
And could you tell us about the business society?
Yep. So the business society at the moment is kind of being re-established again, heading up by myself, 2 other guys at the moment, and one other girl. But we're still recruiting for one role that's a health and safety executive role, which is basically just an admin volunteer position. And kind of the aim of society is to kind of help business students to add different skills and skill sets onto their CV, get them to get involved with learning about career paths that they want to go into, learning about kind of the different opportunities and people in business. So we're getting the guest speakers to come on to our podcast on Facebook to basically sit down and have a chat with us about different stories of startups, entrepreneurs. We're also going to be working with different not different universities, but different university committees, like other kind of societies we have in mind. And obviously with kind of what's going on, it's mostly going to be kind of online. So it's like online kind of learning, which you can just kind of watch anytime you like, and really get a gauge as to say what kind of industry we want to go into.
Can you tell us about Bournemouth, your Bournemouth freshers experience?
Yep, I can. So I don't remember a huge amount of it. I do remember, say, I was always, I think from that kind of first start of university, I think it was 2 weeks exactly that they said freshers was on for. And you had different parties going on, whether it's like at different clubs and venues. I think there was a field party at some point. You also have your kind of, with your different accommodation, they have kind of different events going on with that. Not as such, if you didn't want to drink or anything like that, it's absolutely fine. They have, I think they had also like food kind of all arranged. They had lots of different things kind of all going on. And then obviously, like being the big thing of Freshers' Fair, you had that going on for ages, learning about different societies, meeting new people again, all really starting and stemming from meeting new people more than anything. And I say mine was really good in terms of getting me adjusted to being in a brand new kind of town, and learning, say, about kind of, my course, what I needed to do to get the good grades that I need to get at the end of the year. And really set me up.
What general advice would you give to students about to start university?
I'd say to give advice on students, I'd say that try not to say kind of expect anything, whether it's, I think a lot of people get scared about uni saying that they don't know how to make new friends, or maybe that they think, that there's a contrast and the contrast of, not being able to meet new people and being scared about that. You shouldn't be scared of it. You should welcome it kind of into open arms, whether it's people you're actually living with in the flats, I think or flats or houses, is really good fun and entertaining. From one of my experiences, say, I had a whole range of different people in my first year, that was a really good insight into just kind of making me feel comfortable, and learning about also different courses whilst they were there. I'd also say that for kind of other advice, living with people as well, you shouldn't be scared of it. It's a good learning curve, and it kind of picks up your faults and also other people's faults and how to be better at, cleaning, talking with people, being social. I'd say some other advice is to not expect kind of anything off your course just by, say, winging it. You should look into all the unit details, what that coursework exam means. For example, for me, I should have looked more into talking to previous students, talking to previous and existing kind of lecturers, understanding your course and where it can get to you as well. Because a lot of people, I think, have this notion of if they do a business degree, they can walk into kind of any business afterwards. I think it's a lot more, from that, where if you're specialising in business studies with HR, you should be able to sell that on your CV and to get into HR position a lot easier, yes. But it doesn't mean just because, say, that as well, that you've got a first class in history, English, anything like that, that you're going to walk into any job. It's all down to you as a person to kind of sell yourself.
And what advice would you give to students about to start Bournemouth University?
I'd say to not be worried, first of all, with kind of things going on. It's one of those where it's quite easily, you can feel worried for the first pressures of going somewhere new, but also with COVID, and making sure, obviously, if you feel comfortable going in with a block of flats or a house with other students from other different households, you just got to be careful, take the guidelines as they are, use distancing, but also be kind of, be available to, not only be aware as well of kind of what your surroundings are, and say it's difficult because it's an awkward position where we're all in, but you've got to say just concentrate on your course, understand your course, and be prepared to say do that kind of pre-coursework as well to get ready kind of for your degree.
What advice would you give to students about to study your course?
For my course in particular, I'd say that that the highs and lows of the course, that you do lots of different units, which means that you're not going to be good at everything. And you only be good at everything if you put the hard work in by reading up on all those different kind of readings, all the different, by attending all your lectures, or at least looking at them all online, and doing, and in a lot of it, which I was learning a lot about, was interpreting the coursework that you've got. So it's not just about, where it says, I had, for example, my accountancy coursework was to do like a balance sheet and a profit and loss account. That was kind of the only set keywords, but I had to interpret it to find the correct one, which they were kind of looking into, using all the kind of information that needed and required. So you just got basically research. You got to find out and put yourself out there to really do well in business studies course, because you can't just wing it. You as well need to find out your strong points that you like doing, and also your negatives, to then kind of go on to, when you get into second year, you can choose the courses that you like, units you like, and ones you don't. So for me, I found that I was much better at doing a bit more like research and writing down essays, rather than kind of numbers sometimes would get quite annoying. So I, for example, chose to do the project management, and I think it was operations management, and that was rather than doing I think double economics or something like that. And I just thought, for me, I feel more balanced doing management than economics, for that example.
You chose going to university over an apprenticeship / going right into work. What pathed you to make this choice?
Yeah, I chose that because at school I knew I'd been sold kind of apprenticeships at 16 to kind of go straight into something. I was lucky for me that I thought that I wanted to go and start my own business when I was older, and to get there I could have said do an apprenticeship, but I thought, from all the experiences and stories I've heard, apologies, no.
It's all right. So can you tell us why you chose to go right into university?
So I looked at, say, the apprenticeships when I was about 16 in school, and I thought that at 16 I wanted to start my own business. So at that point in time, if I wanted to go into an apprenticeship, I'd heard a lot of horror stories and bad press on apprenticeships, from the low pay, a lot of grueling hours, the opportunities to progress kind of in your career wasn't there. Also kind of the opportunities for me to be kind of like an electrician or go into engineering or anything like that, I wasn't really interested in. I thought with a degree you could meet kind of like-minded people like myself that want to kind of go on to the next level of business, start their own thing, and be good at lots of different things, a wide range of skills, rather than just say a set and career path. And I also thought that it would also give me potentially a good opportunity to get onto a grad scheme, get in with a good kind of company first, learn for a couple of years, and then after that I can kind of go and do my own thing after backed up kind of savings.
So at this point, we let students have what I like to call a free-for-all, where you could say what you want, advice, help, tips. You could put your @, you could put your LinkedIn's, your Instagrams, your Facebooks. You can literally say what you want about what you want. The floor is yours.
Okay. I'd say just say 3 things. You can find me kind of on my kind of journey going into business on LinkedIn, just by finding me on Bradley Cottington, and just adding me up there as a connection. I can help you, say, with help finding jobs, or anything you kind of want to know, or get in contact with other people. And you can also see kind of my progress in my career kind of going on to the next level. Other 2 things I'd like to say is that I would definitely advise kind of students that going to university is a task which you need to kind of go 100% in, be committed in there and your career path. And also, I think the third point is, I say the placement is a really good opportunity that is available, and you should potentially take that up, think about it. You don't have to do it and put it down on your sheet that you want to do a placement, but definitely think about it. And finally, I say that I've actually joined, the Treasury Executive position at BU Business Society. So if you want to follow the Business Society page, we're going to be posting, guest speaker talks, lots of different other kind of content there. Whilst also joining the society, you can add that kind of to your CV and stand out against other kind of different candidates going for jobs after uni. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm plugged in.
Amazing. Thank you.
I enjoyed it. I mean, there's a lot of choice. There are quite a lot of clubs down in Bournemouth.
What's the club to go?
Sorry?
What's the club in Bournemouth for you?
I don't really know. I feel like this would be like the standard answer that everyone would give. But I would probably say Cameo, and that's purely because there are different rooms, so you have choice. You don't have to stay in the same room all night. You can flip here, there, and everywhere.
Okay.
So I think that's quite good. But also, when you're in first year, particularly, Old Fire Station is literally around the corner, so that is very handy. That's another thing with living in student houses. Obviously, they're further afield. Obviously, halls are near the town and the clubs and everything. When you move into a student house, they're generally more towards uni. So when you go on nights out, you have to think about paying for taxis there and back. And then things like that you don't have to think about in first year as well, which is another thing. But the nightlife is good. A lot of choice. So you can, I think in freshers, in my first year, I think went out like every night bar one. And it was always to a different place, like loads of different events on and things like that. So I think it's good. I think it suits everyone near enough. There's something for everyone, which I think is good.
And are there a lot of shops in Bournemouth, or have you got just your basic, obviously, your Primark, Nike, or is there like local shops and loads of like big brand shops?
It's quite good because you've got Bournemouth Town Centre, which is quite big, and quite a lot of shops there, like quite a lot of your standard high street shops, like you've got Top Man, Primark, Zara, JD, and a lot of others as well. And then obviously there's a place called Castle Point as well. I don't know if you've been, but that has got, I don't know specifically what that's got there, but that's probably got about between 8 and 10 other high street shops that are up there, which is quite nice to go to if you don't really want to go into the hustle and bustle of town. It's just nice to have somewhere else. But that is a bit of a way out if you don't drive.
And what about the food shops in Bournemouth? Are there a lot of them, or is it just, again, your basics, like maybe your McDonald's, KFC, Nando's, or is there like local shops and big brand shops, loads of big brand shops in Bournemouth?
I wouldn't say there's loads, to be honest with you. I mean, actually, there's quite a few now, because when I was in first year, there wasn't BH2, which is a complex in the town centre. I think that was built maybe towards the end of my first year, actually. So in there, you've got a lot of big names restaurants. I think there's like a GBK, Nando's, Pizza Express, Prezzo, Miller and Carter. There's a lot in there, which is good, and an Odeon Cinema, which is good. But then there are other smaller chained restaurants. I mean, in Winton, which is near the uni, where quite a lot of students live in their second and final years, there's some smaller restaurants that you can go to. Also by halls, there's a few restaurants. So I think there's quite a lot, to be honest.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about the Bournemouth area, kind of just to mention for any students that obviously would like to know? What are the bars like in Bournemouth?
I think the bars are quite good. I'm trying to think if I actually went to bars that much. I probably didn't, generally because students don't tend to have a lot of money. I think we would normally just drink at home and then go to a club and buy minimum drinks in the club. But I had been to a few bars, I think, and they were nice.